No worries.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the one and only WAN Show. It's going to be a great show this week. We've got a bunch of spectacular news. Your next BMW might only have heated seats for 3 months, unless you pony up. Facebook's Adpocalypse has arrived with, with advertisers such as Hershey, Levi Strauss, Patagonia. What are they called? They're like the giant. Hold on, Unilever. Yeah, Unilever have boycotted them. They're getting boycotted. They're getting boycotted, ladies and gentlemen. What else we got, Luke?
There's some. Where did it go? I want to talk about the global foundries begins 12 nanometer production. So it matters. It doesn't matter. It matters in some scenarios. Whatever. We'll talk about global foundries producing 12 nanometer things. And Sony launches a portable personal air conditioner.
Oh yeah, portable personal air conditioner. Oh yeah,
that's what you needed.
Oh yeah, and it's cheap. It's cheap. It's affordable. So we'll get to that in just a moment after we roll that intro. Luke, can you shift a little bit to your right? So beautiful.
Perfect.
Intro's going. We clearly have no choice but to jump right into this Sony personal portable air conditioner. So the source is William CLL on the forum, who says, would you look at this? Just in time for summer. Hold on a second. I got to find just the right spot to put this on this page so I don't accidentally show something I shouldn't. Hey, there it is. Just in time for summer, the Rion Pocket was announced for crowdfunding in July of last year, and Sony claims that at an ambient temperature, so that doesn't tell us what that ambient temperature is, but that it can cool the shirt that it's attached to down to 23 degrees Celsius. So let's go ahead and have a look at exactly how this works. Actually, no, we're gonna get to how it works in just a moment. Okay, no, we're not. We're gonna jump right. Hold on, we're gonna jump right into it. They began sales Wednesday. The device tucks under your shirt and is worn in a slot at the back of the neck of a customized undershirt. Okay, so the wearer uses a smartphone app to turn the temperature down or up because the device can either absorb or generate heat. And it was developed last year after Sony secured, get this, $600,000 during a 1-week crowdfunding campaign. $600,000 they raised for this thing. I need to get into the business of creating just completely stupid bullshit that people can put under their shirts. Here I am busy making shirts for lttstore.com, and what I should really be making is shirts and shirt accessories. So Sony set the suggested retail price at 13,000 yen. What is that? What's 13?
It says cost of device is $14.88.
So it's about $15.
$16.74.
So this is a $30 solution, and here we go. I've been holding off on this.
That's pretty cheap.
So at an ambient temperature of 30 degrees Celsius. Wait, is that 40 degrees Celsius? Okay, this must be 40 degrees Celsius for the hottest thing in the room, but we don't know what that is, so we don't know what the actual ambient temperature is. But something 13 degrees Celsius cooler. So basically, it's
it does say that it basically just creates a cold spot.
Yeah.
It doesn't like properly actually cool your whole upper body down. It just
Right.
kind of creates one cold spot. So the biggest thing for me, I overheat in every scenario ever. So
You do.
this
You're
is
so
actually
hot.
mildly interesting. Thank you. This is mildly interesting to me.
Yeah.
But, and I don't often care about this stuff, but to a certain degree, like, there's this big like box on your back.
Well, you know what? Hold on a second. Let's have
Isn't
a look.
that weird?
No, let's have a look at the device, okay? Because it tucks inside the shirt, right?
Yeah.
So,
Have you watched the video?
I haven't yet. I was gonna play the video on the show. I wanted to. I've already heard about this, and I remember the original crowdfunding campaign. When I looked at this thing, I was like, "That's just a tech." And then I think we might have even covered it on the WAN show back when this was happening. But I think we just kind of moved on pretty quickly because it completely didn't matter. Sorry, 1 second. I just need to send a little common sense reminder to someone. Okay. Yeah, so I think we moved on from it pretty quickly. I didn't necessarily think anything was going to come of this, but let's go ahead. Let's enjoy the video here together, shall we? Give me a second here. Give me a second
amazing.
here. I'm gonna turn the sound down. Yeah. Oh wait, no, this is not working. Hold on. Wait, can I? Wait, yes, I can. Hold on. I just need to do this very, very, very carefully. Careful, and stop. There we go. Okay, so here's this guy. Someone is sweating. Another guy is not sweating. Oh wow,
Are you skipping through it?
So cheesy. No, I'm watching the whole thing.
Okay. You got to see it like maybe pause at. I'm gonna get you a second. Pause at 18 seconds.
18 seconds. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh wow. Yeah, that's not great.
That's what I'm talking about. And that looks like that's his dress shirt over top of, because it's more of an undershirt, right?
Yes.
So that's his dress shirt over top of it. So you already have the maximum amount of masking that you could have going on. Unless you
Yeah.
put like a jacket on top of that. But then
Yeah.
it's going to function very well through that jacket as well.
You know what's interesting to me about the thermal camera image, though, is not necessarily the cold spot here, but rather the generally cooler spot under the shirt, and also what appears to be like a hot spot where the exhaust might be. You notice that?
Where's the what timestamp is that?
No, this is in the thermal camera images from the forum post.
Oh, okay, 1 second.
So there's a generally colder sort of back of the person who's wearing it, but then there's like this hot spot on their neck. And I don't know about you, but I think that for me personally, having like a really cold spot right on my back and then like a hot spot on my neck, those things might kind of end up working against each other.
It does. Well, his overall body temperature goes down, and that hot spot might just be a notably not cooled area, if that makes sense.
I want to try it because
I would 100% try it.
I have actually found that like the best thing that I can do on a hot day is not necessarily drinking water. Because I don't know about you, but I find when I take chug a big drink of water on a hot day, even if it's really cold, I will immediately start just like sweating through however many layers of clothing it is that I'm wearing. Like it is absolutely disgusting.
I mean, that is your body temperature regulating.
Yeah, but like, why is it that when I take the drink of cold water, suddenly my body's like, I need to sweat now?
Well, because it's going like, okay, I have the water in order to sweat now.
I guess so. Well, I hate it. So I actually find I'm usually better off taking the cold drink, putting it on my neck, warming it up, and then drinking, less cold water. Like I actually find that works better for me.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay.
So I would be very curious to try it. Now, if the exhaust heat just like goes up the back of your neck and you're just like cooling one part to warm another, that's pretty stupid. But if it actually manages to get the heat far enough away from your body that you can really, cool down with this thing, hey, It's a little humpbacky, but I could be talked into wearing it. I don't see anything about battery life in here or anything like that, but first flight, Sony.com. Man, official website. Oh, you know what? We should probably go visit the official website together here, ladies and gentlemen. 36 degrees, 23 degrees Celsius. Nope, this is pretty much all. You know, oof. There's another picture here where the hump on the back actually looks a lot bigger than like the image where you see the undershirt and the device itself next to each other. That looks really big.
Whoa. Okay, so in the dock, it says the cost of the shirt is $16.74. The cost of the device is $14.88. I don't know where they got that from. On Amazon, it's 22,590 yen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just doing a quick Google search, 22,590 Japanese yen equals 285 Canadian dollars.
Really?
Yeah.
Auto mode. Hold on a second. It will automatically like what? It'll automatically get colder while you're walking? This is the most over-engineered like USB tech cooler that I have ever seen. Like, so there's app control for it. It can cool or warm. Iris.
It can warm?
Yeah. I believe it can warm as well.
Interesting.
If I'm wrong about that, I'm sorry, but ultimately, like, who cares? You shouldn't probably buy it anyway. Like, here, why don't we explore and try and find a viable alternative to this? So USB beverage chiller. Okay, here we go. You remember that one from Cool It Systems way back in the day?
Yeah.
That thing was so stupid. I'm pretty sure they still exist though. So here's a mug warmer. I don't see an equivalent. I can't believe the people who gave that thing a positive review. It like obviously didn't work. Like obviously didn't work. USB tech cooler. Hold on a second. Okay, Alibaba.com. Here we go. Oh, I don't have a USB. You know what? Maybe they have actually created something that does not exist. Although some of this stuff looks pretty good too. Check this out. We've got the personal portable air cooling neckband fan. I'm liking that one. We've got the kid-sized air conditioner up in here.
I know there's like jackets and stuff that have had air circulation fans built into them, but I don't know if they've had like technically AC. You know what I mean?
Did you see Adam Savage built a like a personal air conditioner unit that could go in like a mascot suit, like a fursuit type
that's
thing?
pretty cool.
Yeah, that was pretty neat. How do I drive a Peltier? You don't drive a Peltier on a USB connection, period. Yeah, okay, so here's why nobody's done a Peltier USB cooler since then. There's a good thread on Instructables. It's like, yeah, you just shouldn't do that because it's really stupid. So that's fair. So I guess Sony had to do some pretty fancy engineering in order to bring this thing to life, but maybe they shouldn't have. So why don't we go ahead and move on to our next big topic for the day, which is...
I have no idea how the dock got the prices that it got.
I'm not worried about it. Your next BMW might only have heated seats for 3 months. This was posted by White Brownie on the forum.
We called this.
I mean, it's already a thing. Like, Tesla is already including features in the car that you then activate, later on down the line, whether it's their autonomous driving. I forget what, I have a friend who has a Model 3, and he was telling me about a feature that, rear heated seats, I believe is a DLC. So he was like, yeah, I found out the hardware is already there. And it's just like you have to pay to unlock it or whatever. I'm like, really? So here you go. After charging for access to CarPlay on a subscription basis, Holy smokes. I didn't even realize it was a subscription basis. BMW has mentioned during a VR presentation that the new BMW Digital Key service will enable software updates to existing and future models based on BMW Operating System 7. Crucially, many options are now available as services, with specific mentions of adaptive cruise control, automatic high beams, heated seats. Really? A pay monthly? I'm happy to be, right about things like this, I guess, but I am so angry that
You're right.
that they can't, that it's not enough to pay, $30,000 or whatever it costs for whatever BMW car, 40,000. I don't know what a BMW costs. I'd never cared. But like however many tens of thousands of dollars you're going to pay for this car, and then you're going to get nickeled and dimed for the next 5, 10, 15 years on stuff that's in there. The hardware is in there, and it's like specifically locking it out. These options can be enabled via the car or the new My BMW app. I mean, is it My BMW at that point? Or is it your BMW and I'm just paying to use it? Some features can be permanently assigned to the car, while others will be temporary, with mention periods ranging from 3 months to 3 years. So this means that, for example, heated seats could be enabled only during the winter months, which sounds like a savings until you realize that the heaters are clearly already in the seats anyway. Presumably, features could also be disabled this way. Tesla, for example, has already done something similar by disabling autopilot on a used car, as we discussed a while ago. How infuriating is this? Out of 10. Give it to me. Give it to me straight, Luke.
I don't know. I think we'll see over time, because if it's done through the app, it probably doesn't go with the car, right? So if it doesn't go with the car, then it would erode the resale value of the car potentially.
Mm-hmm.
Or they are shrinking their product stack, sort of, if that makes sense. Because they'll sell less variants of cars.
Yeah.
Because all the cars will have the stuff in it.
Yep. So you simplify the number of actual discrete SKUs that the dealers need to carry on the lot. So far, I've heard only justifications that are good for BMW, though.
Oh yeah, for sure. Outside of that, like,
you got to give me a number, Luke. I want your number.
How infuriating?
Yeah. How infuriating is this?
I think it depends on how much this stuff costs. Because
does it? Why? Why does it matter?
Yeah, I think it does.
Why does it matter?
Because if they make it so that over the course of, let's say, do we know what's the average time someone owns a new car for?
I have no idea, because I don't think that. Okay. I only bought a new car once in my life, and B, I'm only 3 or 4 years into owning it, so I have absolutely no context for it whatsoever. I do remember reading an interesting article about how it's more common for millionaires to drive like an older vehicle than it is for people who are in like a significantly lower tier of wealth. So it's almost like
it's actually not surprising.
Like they kind of like outgrow a car as a status symbol. And it becomes just like, I don't know, it's a car or whatever, like check out my yacht. You know what I mean?
Sure. Okay.
Like the penis measuring is less about something that rolls and more about something that floats,
Yeah. Well, I just looked it up. Apparently in 2017, it was determined that average length of car ownership was 79.3 months, or nearly 7 years. So if you would end up saving money, which now that I know that it's 7 years, I highly doubt
you won't,
then that would be cool. But again, now that I know the average time is 7 years, I seriously doubt it. And I suspect that this is just a one on top of the other cost saving measure from BMW and everyone else, where they want to have less variance in their models and they want to make more money over time. And they probably want to be able to make money from people that buy the car off someone's secondhand.
You know what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen, because it's this is, I'm calling it right now. I'm calling it right now. The incumbent car manufacturers feel threatened right now. They feel threatened by Tesla. They feel threatened by new upstart manufacturers that, quite frankly, like the car industry is going through a period of massive disruption right now. So they're threatened by newcomers like Tesla. They're threatened by newcomers like Nikola. More importantly, they're threatened by low-cost car manufacturers who are coming from places like China, where labor is cheaper, access to raw materials has the potential to be cheaper, and the expertise that your Volkswagens and BMWs and Hondas and Toyotas of the world have built up over the last 100 years is not going to be worth as much as it used to be. I think they feel very threatened because the internal combustion engine is still going to exist for a very, very long time, in much the same way that, a satellite phone still exists. Like, there's going to be a point in the future where it's just all battery powered. That's going to happen. So what's happening, what I'm predicting now, what I'm calling right now, is that they feel threatened and they're finding ways to extract more profit out of the customers that they can retain over the next 5, 10, 50 years. Linus talking about something he has no idea on, lol. No, actually, this is going to happen, but you believe whatever it is that you believe. And then what's going to happen is they're going to introduce these consumer unfriendly policies, like charging a subscription fee in order to access features that are built into the hardware of the vehicle. And Chinese manufacturers are going to come in at a fraction of the price. They're going to start out worse. We've seen it happen with Japanese cars, even going back quite a few decades at this point, but they came in kind of sucking, but being lower cost compared to the incumbent North American car makers. And then over time, they grabbed market share by being cheap. And then they used that market share and that volume of sales to improve their quality and eventually took over. Now we're going to see the same thing happen, but it's going to be cheap Chinese electric cars. Or if it's not Chinese, it'll be Indian, or it'll be something else. And I think the Germans are going to be in trouble when they're running around trying to charge $30, $40, $50, $60, $80,000 for a vehicle that you then have to pay these like stupid, ridiculous monthly fees for. And it's the kind of thing that has a very, very, very long-term effect. So yeah, it might not impact them for the next 7 years or even 14 years. And I chose those numbers because you were saying it was about 7 years was the life cycle of a car for a brand new owner. Is that right, Luke? That was the average?
Yeah.
So it might not affect your car purchase you've already made, and it might not even affect the next one you make. But at some point, you're gonna get mad about it. You're gonna say, this is ridiculous, and you're just not gonna do it anymore. So good luck with that, you guys.
Does it feel like a death throw?
A little bit, yeah. Like it really does. It feels like one of those early, like one of those desperation moves where it's like, we need to survive. We need to turn our cars into cars as a service. But that's not going to happen. What's going to actually happen is cars as a service is going to be more of a fleet ownership thing. And they're just going to go to whoever is the lowest bidder, because that's a commodity business at that point. And so if you're going to try to build your business around maintaining that that experience and that relationship with the customer, antagonizing them by charging them extra for things that already exist in the hardware is probably the wrong way to go about it.
Yeah. Some people in chat are saying that they don't think that the cost of the hardware inside the car will be subsidized. I think it probably will be to a certain degree on the high end, if that makes sense. So like, I suspect the high end cars costs will go down a little bit, but I suspect the low end cars costs will go up a little bit, and they'll probably find a way to make it so that they don't really lose money on the hardware and they're able to charge subscriptions overall. Yeah.
Out of principle, I will not buy a car that has a subscription fee to use there. I'm saying it right now. I will not.
What if there's no options? What if there's no options other than that? What if every single car requires some form of subscription? And because so
I don't think they'll all do it. There's no way.
What if like something in the car has a subscription, but you don't care about it?
But then I'm implicitly supporting this business, aren't I?
Yeah.
Not even implicitly. I am explicitly supporting that business.
If it becomes the norm that like every car has some form of subscription thing in it, what do you think? Also, someone in chat said just jailbreak it. What do you think about that? Hacking cars is already a thing.
It is already a thing.
For the benefit of the user, I don't think is a thing yet.
That's a thing. That's a thing. There's a Canadian company that was offering Tesla's, what's it called? I don't know. It's some kind of performance boost thing on the Model 3. They were offering it at half the price of the Model 3. Now, I'm going to say that I think that that's fairly...
selling hacks.
Selling hacks is probably not going to take off the way that these guys hope it might. But in terms of, jailbreaking / rooting, I would be supportive of something like that if it weren't for my discomfort around the amount of autonomy that future cars are going to have and how that might impact it. I mean, what if it was not implemented quite correctly and it caused some kind of system malfunction and you run over a lady walking her dog? That's a life ending / life altering thing. And I just, maybe I'm just being paranoid, but I don't think that when it comes to a motor vehicle that I would be interested in any kind of like hacky feature alteration, honestly. I don't know if that was your original question.
No, it kind of was. I suspect that type of reasoning will be why they will be able to hold on their grip to their subscription model.
We've got a couple good examples. Hold on, Luke. Let me jump in here really quick. We've got a couple good examples of things that already exist as options in cars. So OnStar is an example of a service where the hardware is in the car, but you don't get it unless you subscribe to it. That's fair, but OnStar is, in my opinion, not an applicable example because OnStar has actual like concierge service, like people that you can call and talk to, when you need help after an accident or whatever. And my understanding is that some of that monthly cost would actually go towards maintaining a cellular service subscription, which is something that, for better or for worse, is something that we have to pay for on a monthly basis. That's just like how that works. There's no, just like government subsidized, everybody has a basic cellular connection thing. So that's one example. Another example is Sirius XM radio. So that, again, I don't feel is an applicable example because here you are actually licensing access to content. So to me, that's more like a subscription to YouTube Music or Spotify. And
it's not literally sending power that you are generating through fuel to a device in your car. It's more than that.
Yeah. So I disagree. I disagree with those examples. I don't think those are the same thing.
Yeah.
Someone brought up a really interesting point in the YouTube chat about how modifying or jailbreaking your car could have insurance implications. And that's a really great point, and I could 100% see that happening, even if the modification that I made did not in any way affect the safety of the vehicle. If, you know, knock on wood, if something were to happen and my insurance didn't cover me, you know, all of a sudden I could be on the hook for paying. I mean, it is very easy for an insurance claim to be $1 million, $2 million, $5 million. You know, you could end up in a situation where because you know, wanted to go a little faster and didn't feel like paying Tesla the money, your insurance is invalidated and you're in debt for the entire rest of your life. That's a life-changing, life-ruining
That's interesting, because
decision,
you know how
potentially.
I don't know if they're actually doing this or not, so my bad if they're not. But you know how Tesla was talking about how they would be handling the insurance claims for autopilot mistakes?
Yeah, what did happen with that? I'm not sure, but go ahead. I can't remember.
If you mess with their car, I'm sure they wouldn't.
Oh yeah, I
But
wouldn't
they're
think
going
so.
to like take control essentially of the insurance of their cars. They can take control of basically the viability of hacking the car.
Yep. Yep. Another really interesting point, this is again in the YouTube chat, is, you know, one thing that offends, hold on, where are you? Okay, sorry, I didn't catch your name. Oh, R Potter TGT16, terrible username, try better. One thing that they brought up was heated seats are heavy and reduce gas mileage. I don't want to lug those around if I can't use them. That's a great point, because not only is there just the offensiveness of buying hardware that you don't get to use unless you buy it again, but there's the wastefulness, and not just the wastefulness of including those materials in the seats in the first place, but the wastefulness of just burning gas to carry around weight that you are never going to use.
Yep. Kind of brutal.
I hate it. I hate it. So there you go. I'm saying it now. I will not buy a car that has a monthly subscription fee for features that
Again,
I
though, what if
consider to be
there's no
hardware.
option?
If there's
Will you just buy like super old cars at that point?
There-
Like say we're 20 years in the future. These cars became an absolute norm 5 years from now. So you have to buy 15-year-old cars. Would you do that?
okay, I want to
5
say
years after that, you'd buy a 20-year-old car.
I want to say yes. I want to say yes, but I also told myself I'd never buy DLC, and I did buy a couple DLCs for Anno 1800. With that said, they are like completely new regions that were designed. They're not just like dumb skins or whatever. And I've put a lot of hours into the game, and these are exactly the kinds of justifications that have people spending $150, $200 on a game these days, which is brutal.
To be fair, does it feel more like expansion-y
It does
content?
feel more like an expansion pack, which I have bought before and I don't inherently object to. And I did follow my expansion pack policy in the sense that I waited for all the DLCs to be done and wrapped up, so that I know that there's one final price that I'm paying for the entire rest of the content that goes with that game. So I didn't like buy one season's pass and then another season's pass. I waited until the comprehensive season's pass was available that includes everything forever, and I got that one, and it includes everything that was ever out before and everything that's coming after that. EDC Forum A said that we missed the mark on the lower manufacturing costs of streamlining the production of the seats so that they all just contain the heated seats. So that's a fair point. That is a very fair point, because it simplifies the product stack and saves something. Like it adds efficiency there. But my counter to that is that if you're improving the efficiency of your product lineup in that way, then it really isn't that difficult. Like if it really isn't worth it to you to take the heating element out, then you could probably just not charge that much more, and heated seats could just be a standard feature on your cars, which would be pretty sweet.
That's not very capitalist, Linus.
Well, you know what?
Come on now.
Maybe I'm a disgusting socialist, gross, whatever. I don't know what a cuck is that. Is that a good insult for socialists?
I don't know.
I don't know, man. I can never keep up with all the new slang. On that note, why don't we go ahead and move on to...
I don't even know how to follow that up.
Why don't we go ahead and move on to my capitalist sponsors mods? The show is brought to you today by Backblaze. Backblaze is an unlimited cloud backup for Macs and PCs for just $6 a month. They've restored over 35 billion files, and you can back up docs, music, photos, videos, drawings, projects, just basically all the data. You can restore your files anywhere by directly downloading them on the web, or you can even restore by mail. So they'll just overnight FedEx you a hard drive. You'll copy everything wherever you want. You can send it back. You can even get a refund on the hard drive. They've got no wonky cost structures. They're just unlimited data backup at a fixed price. Get a fully featured 15-day free trial at backblaze.com/WAN. So go there, play with it, and start protecting yourself from potential bad times. Speaking of bad times, PIA is going to help you avoid the bad times of getting a pesky DMCA, hey, you done violated a copyright thing in the mail. That's right, filthy pirates. Go check out lmg.gg/PIA. Adding a VPN lets you mask your IP and encrypts traffic to and from your devices so your ISP can't see what it is. And it now features WireGuard. There's no bandwidth caps, and their internet kill switch keeps you in control of your connection so nothing will accidentally sneak through while your VPN is disconnected. You can connect up to 10 devices at once now with clients for Windows, macOS, Android, iOS, and Linux. So check it out, lmg.gg/PIA-WAN. Finally, the show is brought to you by Ridge Wallet. Ridge Wallet is a compact little wallet. They've got 2 frames with RFID blocking plates in them, and you slip your cards in there, and basically it's a way of keeping everything easily accessible and yet sort of not too easy to store too much stuff in. So it's kind of like one of those habit-changing devices, okay? So it's big enough that you can keep the essentials in it, but not so big that you can get away with like having an old hotel room key or a spent gift card or whatever else garbage in there. So they've got a lifetime guarantee. They're available in aluminum, carbon fiber, and titanium. They've got a strong elastic band to keep your cards tightly together. You just push your finger into the little notch, pull out whatever card it is you need, and they've got more than just wallets. They've got battery banks, bags, smartphone covers, and more. Use offer code Linus to save 10% on everything at ridgewallet.com/Linus. Oh yeah. Just go to lttstore.com/cuck, you know? Is that considered a swear word at this point? Like, I actually don't know.
I feel like it is. I
don't know, man. I don't buy it.
I have no idea.
It's such a silly sounding word. Cuckold. You know, like it sounds like a, you know, kind of like a ticklish spot on the body. Like, oh, I'm gonna touch your cuckold. You know? In other news, lttstore.com, we've got new shipments coming of the regular size water bottle. Stealth hoodies are in stock in all sizes. Do we still have, I don't know if we still have the 4-for-1 promo, but we definitely have elemental shirts on the site right now. They're simple. Look at that. Look at them go. We've got all these different colors. Hey, good stuff. I don't know if we have any promos running right now or anything. I'm sure Nick will let me know if we've got anything. Oh boy, poor chat is just like taking off right now. I don't know what's going on here. Socialist media group.
I just added 4 elemental shirts to my cart, and it gave me $30 off.
Oh, okay.
So there's something going on there.
So apparently we still have 4 elementals for $50 going. That's like $13 a shirt. Go check it out. It's actually a little less than that. It's a good deal. They're good quality shirts. lttstore.com. I don't know what our stock levels are like, but we moved through a ton of those. So don't expect that to last forever. If you just want some comfy shirts and you want to maybe grab a water bottle or a stealth hoodie or whatever else while you're at it, use code CUCK for 10% off.
Oh God, let's not do that.
Oh man, thank you Twitch chat. I love you guys so much. All right, let's move. Let's talk about the Facebook Adpocalypse. You know what? This is actually making me so happy. This is like as crazy as these words coming out of my mouth are going to sound, this feels like what responsible capitalism might look like. Okay?
What a stream. What a WAN show.
I know. Okay? I know, but hear me out. For the first time in its history, Facebook is facing an organized boycott from advertisers.
So we're seeing people voting with their wallets potentially towards these companies. So these companies feel like they need to vote with their wallets towards Facebook.
With their big wallets against Facebook. So as of July 1st, 240 companies across many industries have signed on to the hashtag Stop Hate for Profit campaign. These include Hershey, Honda, Verizon, Target, Ben & Jerry's, Dashlane, Eddie Bauer, JanSport, Levi Strauss & Co., Madewell, Magnolia Pictures, Mozilla, The North Face, Patagonia, Patreon, SAP, Upwork, Kind, it's a health snack brand apparently, and Sony, which reportedly said on July 2nd it would suspend ads on Facebook and Instagram through the end of the month.
Why does every single company not have a description, and then Kind is like health snack brand?
No, I'd never heard of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Kind founder Daniel Lubetsky, whatever, it doesn't matter. If Facebook doesn't take visible, measurable, and assertive efforts to effectively prevent the promotion of hate, division, defamation, and misinformation by this year's end, we will feel compelled to evaluate indefinitely suspending our investments in Facebook until they do so. Some companies.
So you think this is good? You promote this. You like this, right? That's what you were saying?
What I like about it is companies taking a freaking stand for a change.
Okay, but so the direction I was going in with that, I guess, is that you want Facebook to censor things that have to do with hate, division, defamation, and misinformation.
I don't necessarily. I think censor is the wrong word, but I think that Facebook could absolutely do more. I think they could do more to. How do I put
flag
this?
Content as questionable or something?
Yes.
Or what? Because there's an interesting argument here.
Yes.
That we are moving into a realm where corporations, large corporations that deal in information.
Yes.
Social media networks are to a certain degree essentially information brokers.
Yep.
Large corporations that deal in information are, due to this, going to directly control the information that you receive. We're completely, maybe they're controlling in this realm, maybe they're controlling it in a good way. Hopefully all the misinformation is actually misinformation. Hopefully all the hate speech, all that kind of stuff, they get rid of it because harassment online is like a really big deal.
Yeah, kind of.
Like it actually is, especially if you're like someone of prominent figure, because you get all these voices hitting you at the same time. Division is a massive thing right now. The whole world is extremely divided, all that kind of stuff. Maybe right now it's going in the good direction, but we are pushing companies to take control of narratives and to control conversations and to decide what information we should and should not get. Companies, not only not governments, but like corporations that are going to financially benefit off of controlling this information are now being pushed to do so.
So here's the issue. What they're being pushed to do is do a better job of it, because frankly, that's something they're already doing anyway. So if the ship has sailed already,
they were trying to do so less, and then people got mad. As far as I know, I could be wrong about this.
So I think a big part of what has prompted this is Facebook's extremely lax policies with respect to political ads. So they're allowing blatantly false, provably false information to be micro-targeted. And as we talked about on a previous WAN show, Facebook has ad target groups as granular as people who believe in misinformation. What was that category that we talked about? I forget. This was a couple months ago.
Oh,
Do you remember?
I don't remember, but I know what you're talking about. But
Yeah,
I don't remember.
I can't remember exactly what it was, but
So
yeah.
do you think it? You would prefer like a basically a mass banning of pseudoscience? A bunch of people in Twitch chat are saying pseudoscience.
Oh
So
man,
maybe that
yeah,
was what we were talking
pseudoscience.
about.
That was it. That was the
Yeah,
word. Yep.
thank you, chat. So you're talking more of a mass banning or
Okay.
blockage
Okay.
of a
No, we
category.
got to be careful with the words, because when you
Okay.
say censor or ban or block, that's not what I'm asking for. What
So you
I'm
want
asking
flag.
is that in the age of information, people should have access to the best information that they can. And right now, one of the biggest problems we have is that it's very difficult to get the right answer when you ask the wrong question, right? Because it's really simple to find good information if your Google foo is strong. But here's something that I encountered the other day. Yeah, here we go. I sent an email to a friend of mine because I needed to talk to someone about this. Subject line, just learned about shungite. Have you ever heard of shungite?
I heard about it through a Dr. Disrespect meme.
Okay,
It's like some rock or something, isn't it?
basically.
That people think is powerful for some reason.
So what happened was I Googled WTF is shungite, not literally that, but I basically Googled shungite, and I got this sort of, how Google will have commonly asked questions about it, and then the answers, right? Like
Yeah.
that's a pretty normal thing. So here are some of the commonly asked questions about shungite. What is shungite used for? Does shungite really work? Can shungite be harmful? How long does shungite last? And how do you recharge shungite? If I were to click on something like, does shungite really work? And I were to get, this is great. And I were to get, this is an elevated answer. This is effectively a promoted answer on Google. This is from a site called blog.shoplc.com, and it says, if you purchase a quality shungite product that contains high amounts of carbon and fullerenes, then it'll be effective at absorbing the radiation. It stands to reason that the more shungite you have around sources of radiation, the better job it is likely to do.
Only the high quality stuff though, dude.
This is not the kind of answer that I am expecting. I am expecting to have at least two different answers to that question. One based on that there is no research to suggest that shungite is going to heal your body in any meaningful way. And one from someone who is clearly promoting this stuff, saying that, yeah, definitely buy more. The more you have, the better. Then there's sort of what I'm talking about with respect to asking the wrong questions. So if you ask a question like, how do you recharge shungite? What you really need to know is that this is pseudoscience, magic crystals nonsense. But instead, the answer that I get from KarelianHeritage.com is to recharge shungite. You can leave it.
Karelian heritage?
I know, it's so close to
Like
Karen.
from from Karelia?
No, it's spelled differently.
Oh,
So
okay.
here's how to recharge shungite. To do it, you can leave it for a day under direct sunlight or for a night under moonlight. Use the smoke from sage and incense or fire from a candle. Wash it under pure water or dig it in a natural soil for a couple of hours. Recharge it with the power crystals such as selenite, amethyst, or quartz.
The power crystals.
With
Recharge
the
it
power.
with the power crystals.
The power
Nice.
crystals. And so, for me, what's really important is that someone researching shungite is not getting information from people who are selling shungite, or if they are also getting information from people who are not selling shungite. And one of the problems with misinformation is that it's so profitable and it's so prominent these days that it almost becomes an unwinnable game of whack-a-mole, because real scientists that have actual important work to do cannot be running around disproving every nonsense claim that someone comes up with. I mean, what happened to the concept of the burden of proof? The burden of proof is on whoever is making an affirmative statement.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess
So I want more information.
competing thing here.
Yeah.
You want more information.
Yes.
But like Google can't control. Like how is Google going to control what you click on? Maybe they go like, hey, here's an article that pertain, like in this situation, you asked how to recharge it. So maybe what they do is, hey, here's an article on this person saying that you need to burn some incense and
Put it
and
under the
dance
moon.
in a circle and click your fingers or something. And then they also suggest another one that talks against it.
I mean,
had like, but this is a controversial topic. Check out this.
This is a controversial topic, and you know, whether you link to an authoritative source like Mayo Clinic or something like that. Again, though, I don't know that that's a perfect solution, because part of the problem with science is that it gets it wrong a lot.
Which is fine.
But people have to understand that science is a pursuit of knowledge, not a definitive having of knowledge. And good scientists, there are bad scientists. There are scientists that treat it like a religion, like it's unquestionable. But science is questioning what we're told. That's the entire point of it. So, yeah, we've got people saying more information is as bad as only displaying the biased information. You overload the user and they ignore it all. Well, if they ignore Shungite, then that's fine. I think that's probably okay. And so, okay. So Varial says, how on earth is Google going to manually vet millions of questions? Well, I don't think they have to. I think that you can paint with relatively broad strokes. So all of those questions about Shungite can be fairly simply redirected to, a kind of like what Wikipedia does, where it's like a disambiguation article. It's like, hey, so you're asking this question, but for your reference, here's an authoritative source that basically says, at this point in time, there is no reasonable evidence to suggest that Shungite does anything, whether it's in a charged or discharged state, and you sort of buy it at your own risk. It's probably not going to hurt you in much the same way that, drawing a special magic circle on the floor of your bathroom before you have a bath isn't going to hurt you. It's just probably a waste of your time and therefore money.
But what is to stop someone in the pro-Shunganite community from saying that they are
Shunganite?
Is that not what it's called? Shungite? Sorry, I don't know. I don't know this stuff.
Sure.
It's just whatever. From claiming that they are a researcher and that they have, because there's some, I don't remember what exactly it was. I believe she ended up on Dr. Phil, but there was some lady that made this drink that you were supposed to drink, and I believe it got rid of or no, I don't believe it did this. I believe it was claimed that it got rid of cancer or something, and it was this like horrible drink that like rotted out your body. I don't remember what it was called, Jilly Juice or something like that. She claimed to be a researcher. She published books on this. Jilly Juice. Jilly Juice. Yeah, this looks like it. This is it.
Jilly Juice. How do I spell that?
Jilly juice.
Okay. Oh, wow, they're still around.
Yeah. So Wikipedia, when you go to the Jilly Juice Wikipedia article, says this article is a part of a series on alternative and pseudo medicine. But they're not like directly being like, yeah, this is obviously. They did say alternative and pseudo, but that's as far as they went. It is claimed by its proponents to be able to cure an assortment of conditions, including cancer and autism, as well as regenerate missing limbs, reverse the effects of aging, and oh boy, and quote unquote, cure homosexuality.
Oh boy.
The juice composed of a mixture of water, salt, fermented cabbage or kale, is claimed to blah 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 blah. It's terrible, and it like is horrible to take. Apparently, it tastes disgusting, and it just like rots you out from the inside. Drinking jelly juice is so efficacy on Wikipedia. It says drinking jelly juice is ineffective in treating ailments and cause serious harm, including extreme dehydration and
Right.
salt poisoning or death due to its high sodium content. Like, this stuff is horrible. It's terrible. The claims that it makes are horrible. The effects of it are horrible. Like, it's dangerous and horrible.
Yes.
But I believe the lady that invented it has published books and claims she is a researcher. So how, as a search engine or a social media website, do you get rid of this stuff? Because she was going the like science route. Obviously, other a little bit less forms of science have been like, no, it can kill you.
Yeah.
But like, it's horrible. Someone in chat said not peer reviewed though. I mean, she could probably find a peer to peer review it.
Yeah,
That
I
would be
mean,
like,
that's sort of
But
part of the problem is there's so much money to be made in magic remedies that it's just a matter of finding, like, let's look, population of North America is what, in the neighborhood of like 400 to 500 million people or something like that. The odds of finding a handful of unethical enough people to sell their soul for a few $1 million seems pretty good.
yeah.
I mean, is this something that needs more? The problem for me is that, it's not easy to say, okay, well, hey, we just need more government regulation of this stuff, because unfortunately that can create its own completely separate set of problems. I mean, let's look at what happened with the whole net neutrality debate, which should not have been a debate, should never have been a partisan issue. And for whatever reason, ends up with two sides where, for better or for worse, one of them is arguing that red is orange and the other one is arguing that red is blue. And it doesn't seem like if we can agree on a reality that it's possible to move forward on a solution to our real problems. So there, I don't have the solution, but I do think that I do agree that Facebook could be doing more.
Okay.
There.
I have noticed that almost every time we've looked at one of these things, Wikipedia has done something.
They did something.
Like with Jilly Juice, there was a big thing in the corner being like, this is alternative and pseudo whatever.
Yep.
With Shungite, if you look up Shungite, Wikipedia is the first result. And someone said that there was a thing, but now that I clicked on it, I don't see anything.
Yeah, I don't see anything about... I actually don't see anything about the... Oh, wait, no, uses. Has been used as a folk medical treatment since the early 18th century. Okay, antibacterial properties. Okay, make use of water purifying, which he had...
So it says that, like, the rest of it, the only thing that it says is confirmed is the antibacterial properties of Shungite have been confirmed by modern testing.
Okay, but it does not acknowledge anything else at all. So actually, in this case, Wikipedia has not seemingly really done much of anything to dispel any disproven.
It's an incredibly difficult
or unproven
thing to do. Click on the talk page. I don't do a lot of this. Where's the talk? Oh, okay. It's a tab in the top left-hand corner.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Coronavirus 5G conspiracy theory. Oh, lordy. Oh, Shungite can defend against the harms of 5G in relation to coronavirus. That's a good one. Oh,
that's an amazing sentence.
My brain hurts so much. Okay. Ryan says, I love how a moment ago you were simping for capitalism, but now suddenly can't stop talking about the blatant issues of late-stage capitalism, LMAO. Here's a clue, Ryan. I'm going to give you one for free. it's not as simple as one way versus the other way. Ever.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Why don't we move on to another topic here? Let's see. Yeah, let's just move on to another topic here.
So anyways, my thing was basically just that it's tough. Having done the tiny amount of stuff through the forum and whatever other stuff I've done, it's really tough. Because anytime you're like, yeah, this is obvious, just shut that up. It's like, well, okay, there's essentially infinite other examples. And how do you filter this stuff properly? There's also going to be people that disagree with you sometimes, and you can't just say that you are always right about everything, because there's no way that's true. So it's like, it's rough. Anyways, yeah, let's move on.
What a great YouTube channel idea. This has got to exist already. Like, just trying miracle cures.
I think it does. I feel like I've heard of a YouTuber that does that, but
I searched for miracle cure reviews, and it seems like some people have done some miracle cure like reviews, but I don't see like just a channel that's been elevated to the top here. A lot of it's about miracle hair treatment, which seems to be a specific product, or miracle gel, which is a nail polish.
One of the scary things about this is like stuff like the Jilly Juice, like it can just kill you.
Yeah.
So like you're essentially doing medical trials on yourself without the potential. Well, I guess maybe the potential of the betterment.
Maybe the potential. Like, yeah.
I didn't even mean of it working. No, I'm not worried about that part.
Okay.
I meant like, because like medical trials, when you sign up for medical trials, you get paid, sure, but you also have the potential of bettering humanity if they discover something like super valuable, right? But like some miracle cure junk. Like,
I mean, hey, Luke, you know what? I mean, we discovered cheese from like scraping fermented junk off of a rock in a cave or something like that. Or is it cottage cheese? I don't remember. It doesn't matter. The point is, it's a matter of time before these yahoos discover an actual cure to something.
Canada had some rotten bread. We went really far with that. The insulin or something?
Oh, I don't remember. All right, so the EVO 2 2020 game tournament has been canceled and the co-founder was fired. This is kind of big news this week. It was supposed to feature series like Street Fighter, Tekken, and Super Smash Bros. It is officially canceled. And before the announcement, major commentators, players, and companies pulled out of EVO in the wake of allegations against one of the co-founders of underage sexual assault.
Yeah, but there's been a lot. So the Smash community as a whole is like on fire right now. It has been wild and kind of difficult to follow because there's been so much news and there's been so many people that have been called out and there's been so many people responding to being called out, and there's people that after being called out have just deleted all of their public accounts on everything. And there's people that have been like, yup, I did it. And there's people that have denied it. And there's just, it has been crazy. The Smash community is a crazy spot right now. Yeah. I made a joke that one of the Smash players might win the next tournament by default because there might not be anyone else left.
Oh man,
which might not be that funny of a joke right now.
Yeah, I don't know, Luke. That seems like some pretty edgelord stuff right there.
Hey man, you were making you were saying cuck all stream.
What? Well, it's not a swear word. It's not a swear word.
Are you sure?
It's not one of the what George Carlin words you can't say. Hold on a second. 7 words you can't say. Not in there. Not in there. So I don't accept it.
Okay, fine, fair.
What are we even talking about? Okay, so originally...
I don't know if there's a ton more to go.
Yeah, initially EVO tried to move forward with an administrative leave plan for the co-founder, but that wasn't enough to keep people from bailing. Just brutal. I mean, the gaming community as a whole is going through a bit of a reckoning right now in terms of not just like hashtag metoo, but accusations of people abusing their positions, whether sexually or non-sexually. Luke looks
That's some
deeply
weird
concerned.
stuff. I don't know. I've been trying to follow some of this stuff, and I hadn't heard about this stuff yet. So I was reading this, and like apparently he paid multiple boys aged 12 to 16 $40 to jump in a pool in just their underwear for 10 minutes. Like, what the heck? And there was some other stuff where he paid someone named no. Mikey Pham was paid $20 to show images of his genitalia as proof against an Asian stereotype. Like, what the heck is going on? Smash community is messy, dude.
Okay. All right. Well, in other news, one netbook's one GX1 7-inch mini laptop looks like a little tiny Alienware 51M. The source here is lilputing.com, and this thing looks absolutely sick. Look at that. It's an adorable little Alienware clone. I absolutely love it. Don't expect Alienware-like performance out of this thing because it's using onboard graphics. Hold on a second. Where's our 7-watt quad-core chip with Intel UHD graphics and 24 execution units? Where are the rest of the specs here? Come on, guys. There we go. 8 or 16 gigs of LPDDR3 memory. So it's not going to have the same kind of performance you might expect from a GPD Win Max. 46 watt-hour battery, though. That sounds pretty good. Dual fans, dual copper heatsinks, and a Core i5 10210Y. So that is that's a 10th gen processor. It looks so cool. Like,
it does look really cool. Apparently, there's an idea of being able to attach controllers to the side of it.
I know,
and just
right?
be able to hold it up.
That's pretty so sweet. Awesome. I love it. That's kind of all I got to say about that. Global Foundries begins 12 nanometer production. Finally, like Global Foundries was real quiet for a real long time there. So they say their differentiated 12LP Plus solution is optimized for artificial intelligence training and inference applications. Target applications and solutions. Mobile apps processor, 80% higher performance, greater than 2.2 gigahertz, 45% area reduction. So this is compared to their 28 nanometer technology. Oh, okay. Okay. That should be okay. High performance compute and networking, though, 60% power reduction with 2 times the number of cores, greater than 3 gigahertz maximum speed, and 55% area reduction. That sounds pretty good. So yay competition. Apparently TSMC is basically at capacity with everything that they're doing for AMD, and not to mention everyone else right now. And the word on the street is that NVIDIA is going to have to go to Samsung for their upcoming 3000 series GPUs. So it's pretty clear that we could use another competitor in the cutting edge fab space. So hopefully GlobalFoundries 12 nanometer process is freaking fantastic and gives us more options for cheap computer hardware moving forward, or electronics in general.
Yes. Yep. Is that it?
Would we allow a Shungite promoter on FloatPlane?
This is what I'm talking about.
It's hard, isn't it?
Like, it's not that simple, because the stance that
I don't want to silence them. I believe in free speech.
And in that situation, someone would have to pay to access their content.
Yep. So they clearly really want it.
And like you said, that if Dr. Disrespect didn't do anything like illegal, that you would take him on the platform.
I know he's a promoter. That's why I looked up Shungite. By the way, you're leaning out of frame again. There we go. No worries.
Oh, bad. So I don't know. It's difficult, because how do you become the arbiter of truth?
Well, I don't expect them to be the arbiter of truth. I expect them to clarify when something hasn't been proven, when it's an unfounded claim.
So then on FloatPlane, would we have to put a notice on every creator that anyone ever claims says something unfounded, that they might say things that are unfounded, because we can't decide what's true, right? I mean, there's disagreements about events in World War II between like Russia and the States.
Yep. For sure. And quite
Serious.
frankly, I don't trust either of them to give the full story.
Yeah.
I especially don't trust Russia's version of events, but that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah. There's literally no debate about Shunganite. It's obviously false. There's no debate between you and me and Linus. There is no debate. There is a debate, however. There is people that think that it works. I don't think it works. Linus doesn't seem to think that it works. You obviously don't think it works. Yeah. Someone thinks it works. And like, you know what? Maybe the Shunganite one is a little bit easier, but there are going to be ones that are more complicated.
Yeah.
Nothing is true. Everything is.
So one of my core values is that your rights end where someone else's begin. And in the case of something like, let's say, the problem with like words is that they keep getting warped. They keep getting distorted. So I'm going to say hate speech, but I mean it in the dictionary definition of hate speech that serves no purpose other than to divide and demean. And effectively what your mom told you when you were growing up, don't build yourself up by putting someone else down. That's how I'll define hate speech. So I'm a firm believer in that, my right to enjoy my music ends where someone else's right to enjoy their peaceful day begins. And that's how we coexist peacefully and harmoniously and everyone is happy. Shungite doesn't really cross that line for me, because unlike the Jillian juice or whatever it's called, unlike that where there's actual, bodily harm being caused. And, for me, the value
But what if, and like the 5G coronavirus, whatever.
Yeah.
But what if someone, like, here's an example. I'm not claiming anyone's doing this, but I think Shungite is actually too easy of an example. So it's hurting the argument. Because there's and I can't think of any right now, but there's going to be things that are a little bit harder to disprove
sure.
than Shungite, because magical healing crystals have been a thing for a long time and people laugh with them all. But let's assume it talks about 5G and coronavirus, right? 5G, whatever, not too worried.
Yeah.
Coronavirus. Let's assume that someone thinks that this will protect you from coronavirus, and because of that, doesn't wear a mask.
Yep. Okay. So now we're getting into sort of like the value of a human life, right? Like, to me, the value of a human life is immeasurable, because the only way that you can measure the value of a human life is in other human lives. When some creature, some human creature is unjustly destroyed, basically what you're doing is you are taking all of the time and work and life that someone, whether it was that individual's parents or friends or whatever else, invested into this human being, and you are destroying it. You are nullifying it. So to me, that cost is not measurable in any meaningful way, because every individual is, in a way, greater than the sum of every contribution that has been made to every person who contributed to who they are as a person. That's the way that I see it fundamentally. And so, damaging human life, whether it's in the form of harming someone so that they're bedridden and cannot enjoy their life, or whether it is killing them, or whether it is causing them distress or stealing from them. Like, to me, stealing material is the same as stealing time, because they worked for it, and stealing time is stealing life. You didn't steal an entire life, but you sure stole some of it. As soon as you say, okay, yeah, you know what? This person's irresponsible conspiracy theory spreading is damaging other human life. I go, well, yeah, that's a problem. We should probably fix this. I don't have an easy solution though.
But again, like, so someone in chat, and I've paused the scroll on it, so this is from a long time ago, but it was Colonel Sanders 21. This debate about I don't want to silence people is in bad faith. Action needs to be taken. Some voices don't need amplification. Sure, but who gets to decide that?
Yep.
Because what if some platform is run by someone who believes in this stuff,
Sure,
or believes in something that Colonel Sanders 21 doesn't like, or believes in something that you don't like, or believes in something that I don't like? How do you decide that thing? Right now, I believe, again, the person in chat, you and me, are all in agreement about this topic. But us three don't necessarily represent the entirety of everyone. So how do you decide who gets to decide what voices don't need amplification? That is a very difficult thing to figure out.
And nobody wants that difficult answer.
And measure of harm. How do you decide that? Because the people that believe in the Shunganite crap might think
they're being harmed by suppressing. You're harming people by not telling people about Shungite, which could cure their space AIDS or whatever.
Yeah. And like, again, I think they're wrong, and I think there is potentially a measure of harm there. Okay, my example of carry the rocks on you so you don't have to wear a mask, I made that up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That means nothing. I'm not saying anyone's doing that. But in this fictional scenario,
it's not even that far out there, given you can recharge it with moonlight. So like, sure.
In this fictional scenario, like, yeah, how do you decide which one has more harm? Scientists. Again, we're jumping back to the Jilly Juice conversation.
Yeah.
As far as I know, she claimed to be scientific in some way. She published a book, etc., etc. So where do you draw the line? And scientists disagree about stuff sometimes. So is this a governmental thing? Does the government decide which side to agree with?
Yeah, and hold on a second.
It's a really difficult conversation.
Who's that doctor? Who's that American doctor with the TV show that basically promotes nonsense, like nonsense cures all the time? I can't remember his name, but basically he admitted to just lying and fabricating, like in front of Congress at one point. Yeah, Dr. Oz. Yeah. That's one of those cases where you've literally got this individual admitting to it in front of Congress, that they're just a big liar and in it for the money. And yet, doesn't he still have a TV show at this point?
I have no idea.
Yep, I think so. Final episode date, July 26, 2020. Okay, so yes, technically, the Dr. Oz show is still running as of right now. Great. Yeah, thanks, chat. Chat is now exploding with answers here. Yeah, it's great. It's brilliant. So that's an example of an actual medical doctor who sold out.
Yep.
And so unfortunately, we can't just put doctors in charge, because doctors are people and people are fallible.
We can listen to bodies of experts. Sorry. We could probably talk about this for days. This is an extremely complicated subject. I know it seems really simple when you first jump into it, but if you really try to discuss action instead of just frustration, the conversation starts to become extremely difficult. So, yeah.
Really though, Tom Cigars in the super chats has the real questions here. Garth Brooks, where are the bodies buried? Guys, it's a meme. Okay, it's a meme. It's a meme. Everybody just chill, okay? We should do a couple super chats before we close out the show today. I'm just like depressed now because the world is complicated and broken, and fixing it is hard. Voodoo Child says, shout out to my lovely wife who's not really paying attention unless she hears her name, Alana. Sup, Alana? Okay, Robert Mail says, old news, Peltier cooler, poor battery life. Yeah, the stupid Sony cooler. Tom again says, Linus, why did you switch from 3950X to Threadripper? What was the rationale? Because I had to have more SSD speed than the PlayStation 5. PC Master Race for life. That's like, honestly, the flimsy rationale that I provide in the video that isn't up yet. It'll be up soon, though. I needed more PCI Express lanes so that I could put a stupid overpowered SSD in my machine that will make no meaningful difference in real-world use. That's what I needed to do. Hey, Luke, do you have your Kickstarter hammer yet?
No.
Cool. Jackson Tint asks, hey, Luke, what happened to the FloatPlane app? I reinstalled iOS the other day, and the app has disappeared. Luke, do you want to get into that?
I will try to not blow up a building, and I will try to not make this take forever. But Apple basically did not let us update the app in any way. Apparently, Jaden figured out that we would be able to push purely bug fixes because it's like not legal or something for them to stop those. And there was some theory about how we'd be able to keep going in that way. But there was issues with a big update that's kind of here. It wouldn't be compatible with that, blah, 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 blah. Basically, they wouldn't let us continue updating the app because we would not use Apple's in-app payments. We would not use Apple's in-app payments because we operate on pretty thin margins, and we literally can't. So that's about it. And I told them that, and they were like, okay, well, stuff it. So we were left with pretty much no options. So what we're going to have to do now is push a like content viewing only app to the Apple platform. So the Apple platform will have no ability to manage subscriptions. It will have no ability to view any content creators that you aren't already subscribed to. It will have no ability to see payment history or change the subscription type or anything like that. The only thing you will ever be able to do on the Apple app, unless they change their horrible, in my opinion, illegal policies, is view the content from the creators that you have paid for. That is it. We have to make a custom bad app just for Apple.
Thanks, Apple. Yeah. Good job.
Congratulations on making it so that your users get a worse experience.
Yep. You win. You're the big winner here. All right. Hullingrew says, hi Linus, can you teach me how to do a computer or tech review? You watch ones that are out there, you kind of figure out what your unique spin on it is, and you do it. The best thing to do is just start doing it, and then you'll be really bad at it, and then you'll get better. Pro Gogurt says, last year you said Netgear is more enterprise focused, but I think they have a deal with Best Buy because they're the only brand of router available in store. I think I said they were more B2B focused. That doesn't necessarily mean enterprise. Enterprise and like business are not necessarily exactly the same thing. Dave Chapman says, any recommendations on upgrading from a 1080 Ti? I've had the card for 3 years, but I got the upgrade bug. Man, I would probably wait for 3000 series at this point if the sort of rumored launch period is anything to go by. Like, there's pictures of finished cards out there in the leaks now. I'd be surprised if it's more than a few months away. So that's a great time to pick up, a 2080 Ti or something like that. James says, you told me to comment on Beat Saber streams. Where are they? They're on Twitch, not on YouTube. I can't destroy the YouTube channel by streaming Beat Saber.
They're also on FloatPlane.
And they're also on FloatPlane. But unfortunately, I can't have more than one chat thing open in Beat Saber at the same time. Oh man, what a cool like chat streaming integration thing that would be. Like a chat thing that just like consolidates all your chats. So you can multi-platform stream really easily.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be done like super kludgily and manually. Actually, yeah. That could be done.
It could.
And you could just have like color coding for which platform it came from or like a little icon.
It'd probably just be one hell of a mess, but.
Well, yeah, but it would be, as long as you're not over a certain size, like as long as you're kind of small.
Restream does it.
What's that?
You have to pay for Restream though. I think Restream apparently might do it.
Really? Do they support FloatPlane?
Well, I think they probably would. It's basically the same thing as our Restreamer. You just have to pay for it monthly, I believe.
Oh, and then ours is free?
Well,
sort of. Oh, I understand. Got it.
Yeah.
Yep, say no more. Okay, cool.
pricing. It's not even that expensive.
Philip Rose asks, do YouTube channels get paid less when viewers with
Good
YouTube Premium listen with the screen off? I have no idea. I would imagine not, though. CD says, do you know of any monitors that are 32 to 35 inch, 4K G-Sync, HDR, and 120 plus hertz? Primary use is gaming. I mean, there's that one from Asus and then the other like Acer equivalent one. I believe those are both 32 inches. Other than that, honestly, I wouldn't go 4K for gaming. Like, why? What possible use could you have for a 120 hertz 4K display? What graphics card that's not, you know, gifted to you by an army of angels in, you know, the Ark of the Covenant is going to be able to run like modern AAA titles at those frame rates at that resolution? Honestly, the Samsung one that, full disclosure, the unboxing was sponsored, but nothing I'm saying right now has anything to do with that deal. The Samsung one that I unboxed over on Short Circuit, we uploaded that video today. It's 1440p, 32 inches, and ticks all your other boxes. Looks like an outstanding option. And it's 240 hertz, which is pretty sick.
Okay, so I just looked for an update on the cold bar hammer, and there wasn't one. But someone 9 days ago said, I wonder if I'll still be able to give this to my dad as a gift for Christmas in 2013.
Thank you, LTT community, for memeing so hard.
That's funny.
All right, thanks, Jacob. Azarel says, I think the subscription for features is a way to get more people to buy a luxury car at a lower price and hope that they'll buy access to features down the line. Yeah, that's fair, as long as we see lower prices. Haven't seen any evidence of that yet. Justin says, thank you, Linus and Luke, for everything you guys do. Been a follower since before the Langley house. Hey, thank you very, very much. Anthony says, there's no algorithm for truth. Yeah, that's fair.
I know someone personally that I am a big fan of. I like them a lot. I respect them deeply. And they believe in ghosts and all this other stuff that I think is crazy. It should not be up to me to stop them from getting information about that. And it should not be up to them to stop me from getting information to counter that, I think.
Yeah, it's a real shame, isn't it? I remember having the ghost conversation with someone at one point. I was just like,
what? I didn't think it was real. I thought they were joking for like,
yeah,
I think it was years. And then eventually ended up figuring out that I wasn't being trolled. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a real tough conversation with someone about fortune tellers at one point. It's just like, oh, like what am I supposed to tell you? Like I at one point I went from sort of patiently explaining to, I think part of my problem, and I think part of a lot of people's problem, is that it's very easy to fall into mocking, because you're leaning out of the frame again, by the way. It's very easy to fall into mocking because it's like the idea that there's just magical clairvoyant people that can see the future is ridiculous. Like it's actually straight out of Harry Potter, you know? Like,
oh, you're getting to mocking.
I know. See, I did it already. No. The very definition of the word ridiculous is worthy of ridicule. And I think that's, you know, it's a big part of why, you know, we can't agree, because the more we mock and ridicule each other, the more we're divided. I remember I was watching one of my favorite late night hosts, And they did a bit on Jeff Sessions where they did his voice, but only sort of his voice. It was clear what they were doing was a mocking Southern accent. And I was watching this, and what was really striking to me about it, I forget who it was, unfortunately, but what was really striking to me about it was the words they were saying were a message of reconciliation and understanding, but they were doing it in a clearly mocking tone of voice that would identify them as an enemy before anyone would ever actually stop and internalize the words that were coming out of their mouth. Like, it was extraordinarily disrespectful. And it's like, yeah, we're clearly never going to come together on this as long as we present our points of view in a way that makes fun of each other. It's like, yeah, you know, I'm sorry, this is real bad news. Ghosts aren't real, but you know, at the end of the day, if that's something that you choose to believe because it gives you closure over the passing of a loved one, or because it explains, you know, some kind of episode you went through where you believe you saw something like that, and you know, that's what helps you come to terms with it, or whatever the case may be. It's like, it's not really any of my business to interfere with that, I suppose. You know, I can say, like, you know, sorry, there's no irrefutable evidence that it's real. But it becomes, you know, sort of a circular argument, right? Because they can turn around and go, well, there's no irrefutable evidence that it's not real. And then you can kind of go, well, did you ever take like a 100 level,
like,
100 level philosophy course? It's like, because I took half of one, and even I managed to get far enough to know that the burden of proof's on you. HTC 148, I'm going to show this comment. It was automatically flagged. You can tell Linus thinks he's a libtard, but he's a hypocritical capitalist. No, I'm just someone who thinks it's not as simple as either of those things. I don't firmly fall into a right-wing, left-wing, capitalist, socialist camp. I mean, I'm a business owner, obviously. I believe in some of the merits of capitalism, but I also proudly pay my taxes to my, you know, disgusting, horrible socialist Canadian government and evade and avoid none of them.
To jump on your disgusting, horrible socialist Canadian government thing that you just mentioned,
yeah,
the commenter is probably American, and our political systems don't even fall in line with theirs.
Yeah.
Like our prominent right-wing political organization disagrees with the American prominent right-wing political organization on lots of things. So, like, yeah.
I love this. Everrope says, filthy centrist. I own it. I'll take it. I love it. I love it. Moses says, Linus, just stop. You're losing for nothing. I'm not losing anything. What am I losing? Nothing. All I'm saying is it ain't simple. And if you think it's simple, you're wrong. No matter which way you think it's simple. Rivea says, hey Luke, last February I emailed FloatPlane asking to join the platform. I was told by Dan it might not be a good fit. Best way to find out if that has changed would be to probably send another email. A quick look at your channel would suggest that it's probably not a great fit if YouTube is your primary platform, just because it's more designed as a supplemental income stream for established creators, whether it's on other social media or on YouTube. And it doesn't look like you're that established, but if I'm misinterpreting,
this is a kind of difficult thing to explain through text. So the emails that get responded are, I think, good. But good because we have to use a little bit less examples. But like, FloatPlane is not a discovery platform and will often include some amount of additional work. FloatPlane is positioned to make it so that there isn't a ton of additional work, but there is some amount of additional work. Even just uploading the video and setting a title is an amount of additional work. And you might decide to do some exclusive content. LTT's been releasing some really cool exclusive content on FloatPlane recently. That's additional work, et cetera, et cetera. And if you're a relatively small creator at this time, all potential work should go into growth. And FloatPlane is not a growth platform. So we highly suggest that you focus on YouTube or whatever your other main platform is, as you probably won't be successful on FloatPlane right now, and it would take away from your work towards growth. Once you become larger, the pool of work will become a little bit smaller. These things will start becoming a little bit second nature to you as you've been doing it for a long time. And the potential of the financial gain is good because you can reinvest that into your business, in the way of hardware, cameras, things you might need, staff, etc., which can lead to growth in other ways.
All right. What else do we have here? No, that's pretty much it. Wow, this was a really long WAN show. So thanks for tuning in, guys. This has been a very unusual show. I'm sure the like-dislike ratio is going to be terrible because the thing about, saying it's not that easy is you make absolutely everybody mad. So I'm ready for that. You know what? I'm just not even going to read the comments on this WAN show. I'm just going to have a nice weekend. Got some great videos scheduled for this weekend, so let's see what's coming out. Oh yeah, we got the Yongno. I think I pronounced it wrong. Andy's been trying to coach me on how to pronounce words in Chinese. So we've got the Yongno. I think I'm saying it wrong again. Android camera. It's like a camera, but with a phone built into it instead of a phone with a camera built into it. Super weird, interchangeable lenses and everything. Got a really cool video coming that Riley worked on where we're gaming. It's so dumb. We have there's a gaming laptop with 2 screens, and he set it up so that we had one controller, one input, and we have to play both of the games against each other at the same time. And the games are Rocket League and then some weird Dragon Ball Z side scroller fighting game.
That's not fair. He plays Rocket League all the time.
That's what I said. And I had never even heard of the Dragon Ball game.
I've seen him play Rocket League at work on his lunch breaks.
Constantly. He's actually good at it.
Yeah. That's not fair at all.
Totally unfair, but I will accept any challenge. I'll accept any challenge. I'm always down for a friendly competition. So those videos are coming up this weekend. So I will look forward to seeing y'all over there. All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope you enjoyed the show today. See you again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Bye.
Oh, yeah. And you can buy our special Shungite smoothie over on shungitesmoothies.com. Thank you very much.
Check Discord real quick.
I should make sure that shungitesmoothies.com doesn't already exist. Oh, actually, we probably should. I am not really in a position to comment on this other than to say that it's an obvious tragedy. And as someone who spends a lot of time in the public eye, and actually I was just talking about how sometimes tuning into a bunch of just hateful, poisonous comments can be damaging. But Luke, Daniel T posted in the chat a while back. Any thoughts on the recent news of Reckful? Luke actually had the pleasure of meeting him, so I guess it's probably better for him to talk about it.
I didn't we weren't friends or anything. I just met him in passing once.
I just know you followed him as well, and you're huge into the WoW community in the early days. And now,
and he was an amazing player and also just a super nice dude, and I think a very positive part of that community for a very long time, and a positive part of the streaming community for a very long time as well. I never know the correct words to use in these situations. He passed away very recently. He did commit suicide extremely shortly after proposing over Twitter, which I don't know where to go with this. Some people have theorized that the comments that he received for proposing over Twitter helped drive him in that direction. He had some issues that were quite public for a long time. He had done which I think this is actually super cool and like a really interesting and good idea. But he had done like therapy streams where he met with a therapist in the past. So this was not a secret or hidden thing by any means. Someone in chat said, did she say yes? As far as my understanding goes, which is limited on this subject, she didn't even see it in time. So she saw that and heard of his passing at like pretty much the same time, which has got to be super, super rough. She didn't know. Yeah. The whole situation is very rough. Maybe listen to me less and go look into it. Yeah, she was asleep. Yeah. But yeah, it's unfortunate. There was a bunch of memorials. Basically, every server, as far as I know, retail and classic, had some form of memorial, which was actually pretty cool. It's rough. Just keep in mind when you're online that bandwagoning someone can actually be really rough. And just because someone has a big following doesn't necessarily mean that they have the thickest skin. I think Linus and I do fairly well in that regard.
It's not always easy.
But it's not always easy. It gets hard sometimes, especially when you're like already internally beating yourself up for something. When the community gangs up on you for it, it sucks. Or if there's something that the community doesn't necessarily know is really like personal to you for some reason.
Yep.
That can really suck as well. So
I get really frustrated when, you know, I make an honest mistake and, you know, do what I can to correct it. You know, I can't change a YouTube video. So, you know, I'll pin a comment that's like, hey, by the way, we made this mistake. And, you know, every other comment on the video is, why is nobody talking about this? It's like you literally scrolled past the pinned comment about what you're talking about to say that nobody, it's like, here you are criticizing me for missing something and you missed the most obvious thing I could possibly put in front of your face. And the hypocrisy of that one drives me absolutely bananas. You know, generally speaking, what I find is one of the best ways of reducing toxicity, going back to the early days of starting out as a YouTuber, is or has been to completely ignore it. But the problem with that is that it doesn't really show other members of the community that it's like, yeah, we're all struggling with this and it's something that we all go through and that it's not easy. I think it makes people think that it is easy and that it's not a big deal and that what they're saying and doing doesn't matter and that there's not a human on the other end of it, but there absolutely is.
Yeah, and you never really know what people are going through. I'm trying to look up like Robin Williams.
Yep.
I would have had, maybe some people knew, I had no idea at all that he had any issues with anything. He seemed like the happiest person in the world to me. So you have no clue. And I'm not at all, to be very clear, that saying that you can't criticize things or whatever, but when you're just going in on someone, just consider the potential impacts and try to be a little nicer, especially in these extremely trying times. The world is crazy right now. Just try to spread some happiness instead of some sadness.
Yeah, even someone who's like super toxic, I would suggest not bandwagon hating on them. It's not constructive. Thanks, guys.